And he has a name. Devils have names. What is that name? The Bible says in the Hebrew tongue, his name is Abadon. And in the Greek tongue or language, his name is Apollyon. What is that? What is the mystery? If these 200 million devils go forth to possess men and buildings and monuments and idol statues, who is the leader over them? Why is his name? I believe it's a code name. Every name has a meaning in the Bible. They have meaning. They can be interpreted. You've got to understand the codes. Abadon. Abba means father. Don means Dan. Father Dan. That's the name of the devil. Father Dan. Well, the tribe of Dan was a Jewish tribe, or not Jewish, but Israeli tribe. One of the 12 tribes was led by Dan, whom they called their father. But Dan was not a nice man. He was an evil man. I believe he was possessed by spirits. Now you say, are you saying that one of the tribes of evil was led by an evil man named Dan Texe Marrs? Oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's what the Bible says. The Old Testament says Dan wasn't pleased with the land he was given for his tribe. He was greedy, so he went out and took more, used an army, and he went out and grabbed more land. Knowing how evil he was, they gave him an ensign or a sign, a symbol that symbolized he and his people of his tribe, this Dan of the 12 tribes. And guess what his symbol was, his ensign, his crest, let's just say his family crest. It was the serpent. He was branded as the serpent by the other leaders of the tribes of Israel. But you know what he said? I will not accept this. He was rebellious. I will not accept being the serpent king. I demand to be recognized as the great eagle. And so he took for his symbol the eagle. Is this Dan not the builder of Illuminati architecture today? And is these devils, these 200 million devils that Father Dan has released, the spirit of Dan, are they not designing occult places and architecture to this very day? I believe they are. And that's why architecture, Illuminati architecture, is the battleground of the spirit. Now, in the Greek language, the name of this devil leader of the 200 million devils described in the book of Revelation is Apollyon. Now that's a combination name. Apollo and On is the meaning of it. On is the name of the great god, one of the names of the great Egyptian sun god Osiris. In fact, one of the cities of Egypt was named On, and there's where he had his great habitat. On. Apollo was the son of the great Greek sun god Zeus. Apollo, the sun god, the golden boy, who it was said would someday bring an age of prosperity to the whole world. Yeah, that's the Antichrist. Apollyon. Apollo, the son, the Antichrist, and his father, Osiris. Father Dan. They're all the same. They have the same spirit. And architecture is the battleground of the spirit. And again, as Mr. Van der Rohe, another Illuminist architect, a famous one in fact, said, architecture reflects the will of the age conceived in spiritual terms. The Germans, I'm not German, but they have a word I like. It's the will of the age. It's what the people are into. It's what their souls are possessed of and are consumed with and obsessed with. It's what occupies their minds and their hearts and their activities. It's called zeitgeist. Zeitgeist. It's sort of like the spirit of man. If a man is a godly person, he has a certain spirit about him. If a woman is a godly woman, you can recognize that. You can feel that. You know she's a woman of virtue and honor. She possesses this certain spirit, the zeitgeist. But the zeitgeist is more than just one person, a man or a woman. It's the spirit of the community. Adolf Hitler, of course, developed a certain zeitgeist for the German community, the people, the Volk. Lenin and Stalin and Trotsky attempted to develop a certain zeitgeist or spirit of the age. And in America today, the flow of civilization, now listen to what I'm saying, friends, the flow of American civilization beams out around this globe because we are the exemplar for the whole world. And this flow of American civilization, this zeitgeist, the spirit of the age emanating from America and possessing the whole world and all of the nations, is moving rapidly toward a dark abyss, favoring what? Well, the grotesque, the fiendish, the malevolent, the sadistic, the cruel, the sexually explicit, the corrupt, the bloody, the imperialistic. That's the spirit of America. You can see it in our cartoons for kids. You see it in our movies, on television. You see it in the spirit of our politicians. A spirit of death, of war, of bloodshed, of grand ambition for world power. This is the whole planet's collective spirit. It dominates this horrible, violent, depraved spirit of the age. And that's what architecture is all about. And architecture, as I say in my book, Mysterious Monuments, is theater. It's dark theater because of the illuminist control of architecture today. I say, and I want to quote myself here, because it's a powerful concept. Illuminist architecture is a global psychodrama of open-air witchcraft rituals. When you come upon an obelisk, a pyramid, a pentagon, a pentagram, a star, all manner of other occult architecture, a goddess statue or whatever, what you're facing, what you're encountering is a talisman, a magic idol. And it is usually set up and designed in such a way to honor certain energy ley lines, astrologically, numerologically on this earth, to correlate or correspond with heavenly powers, the sun, the moon, the stars. I know it sounds fantastic, but it's true. And so there's a widespread distribution across this planet of illuminist architecture, art, and design that is heavy laden in satanic meaning, permeated with occult symbology. And thus the Brotherhood of the Illuminati, led by Satan and his visionary angels, and they're smart, they're pretty good architects. They know how to use buildings and architecture to dredge up the spirit of the age, this violent and depraved psychological drama, so that the whole world becomes a dark theater of the weird and evil. Witchcraft rituals. And then what they call the group mind of the masses is developed. And as I've just quoted a number of architects, the world is transformed through the spirit of the age. And the hearts of men are shaped toward obeying Satan's demands and commands. This is Texe Marrs. We've been looking at Illuminati architecture as global battleground. Always remember, though, friends, we are the overcomers.